Christians. Welcome back to another episode of Your Queerstory.
Welcome back.
Hi, guys.
We're continuing Black History Month this week with a special fun episode on the notorious, infamous,
fabulous
RuPaul Andre Charles.
That's right. Got a little current here.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know when the last did we have covered someone who's like currently alive? Have we? I don't know that we have. Well, like many things, RuPaul, you are first. You have popped our cherry, and we are excited to
Our
explode
first
all
still
over.
alive queer person, I think.
Yes.
Watch, somebody's gonna be like, actually, in episode 27, you covered this person.
Probably. Well, I mean, other than I know in our I'm Not Gay, You're Gay episodes.
Yeah, but
we've
I mean,
covered
like a
but like
cultural,
like
historical.
when we're doing like
figure.
one person,
Yeah.
it's been a lot. Which we are going to try to do more current people this year. That is one of our goals.
Mhm.
Still going like it's all about history, but like we want to throw in a couple people that are still around. You know,
Who are influencing LGBT lives. They are
Yeah.
making history.
they're making it, and we're following it and putting it there.
Also, you
So-
gotta get those Google hits up.
That's right. It's all about the search engine. So RuPaul. First, want to say thank you to our supporters as always. Thank you to the Knights Wishing Well by Michael Finn-Lang, one of our best supporters.
Mhm.
Also wrote a fantastic book. You should go to Amazon Prime right now and order it. Knights Wishing Well as in a knight of the round table. You can order it for it's still only $6. We
Yeah.
think that it's going to go up, but who knows? $6. Amazon Prime ships to your house in 2 days. A perfect birthday gift, perfect Valentine's Day gift.
Even though
perfect
Valentine's
everything.
Day already passed, but
No, what it still counts.
did a Valentine's Day? I don't know.
We're recording this episode a little early, as we told you guys, because February is crazy. So,
Anyways, this book is great. Honestly,
Doesn't matter
it
what
has
day it is.
female giants in high heels.
it literally
like-
drops the day before Valentine's Day. So go buy it, you bitches. Oh, David's screaming. Or is it the neighbors? The neighbors have lost their dog or their child,
I don't
or
know.
maybe their sex slave that ran out of the dungeon. We don't know, but they've been walking around for an hour looking for this thing.
Just literally screaming the name, and it hasn't come yet. I don't
Nope.
think it plans on coming back.
I don't think it's
but
coming
he's
back.
Still trying.
He's
so.
trying hard. You think they can hear us out there? They can hear them because they just heard us talking a lot of shit about them.
Well, considering we can hear them loud and clear, they probably
They
definitely
probably can. This is why we need to get a studio with soundproof rooms.
So, to kick off our conversation this week, we are gonna do a little game.
A little game for you guys.
Would you rather eat a bowl of ketchup or a bowl of mayonnaise?
Ketchup.
Really?
Yes.
mean, yeah,
Fuck yes.
yeah, probably.
No.
Okay, your turn.
Eating a bowl of mayonnaise would be like eating a bowl of cum, which I would never ever do. Shoot me in the head. No.
I also feel like mayonnaise is like thick, so like the thought of eating a whole bowl of it would be
Literally,
pretty
I
repulsive.
just said it's like eating a bowl of cum, which,
Not
by
same.
the way,
Not the
I don't
same.
want to judge, but somebody
Not the same.
is probably eating a bowl's worth of cum. I'm not,
Your turn.
All right. Would you rather never ever use social media again or never watch another television show?
Never watch another television show.
I couldn't do it. If I can't watch Family Guy while I fall asleep, then I can't fall asleep.
You still watch?
I still
You've
watch
seen
it.
every
And I
episode?
know people are judging me right now for watching Family Guys, and I know it's problematic, and I know all that. And you know what, folks? I'm gonna watch it as I fall asleep because I just do. It puts me to sleep
You've seen every episode like 300 times.
300 times at least.
Do you know every word to every episode?
I don't know every word to every episode, but you can't talk about an episode and me not know what episode it's from and almost what season it's from. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I love Seth MacFarlane. I really do. I love American Dad. I love The Orville. God, if you haven't watched that, if you like sci-fi, he created this whole, it's basically Star Trek. It's actually, between Star Trek, it's, the Orville was like 300 years before, what you call
All right,
it?
anyways.
I'm sorry. It's really good. So, yeah, I love Seth MacFarlane.
Would you rather
Okay.
have 2 legs and 6 feet or 6 legs and 2 feet?
Well, what am I doing with the other legs?
I
Are they
don't know.
just
That's not
stumps?
I don't know. Yeah,
That doesn't
you
make
don't have
sense.
feet on
That
the
one
other-
doesn't make sense.
You don't have feet on the other 4
But what do
legs.
they do then? They're not legs.
They're just there. They're legs.
They're arms.
You can still have legs with no feet.
You can't have legs with no feet because they're not legs.
Yes, they are.
They're just stumps.
No, answer the damn question.
I guess I'll do the 6 legs and only 2 feet because they're just going to be hanging on the sides. I can at least spin around in a circle and hit people with them. All right. I'm cheating here. Are you making up your own?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, you have a list?
Yes, I have a list. Excuse me. All right. Would you rather lip sync for your life in 12-inch heels, or lip sync for your life in slippery slippers?
Ooh.
Silk slippers.
You know, the thing about the silk slippers is they can be really funny. Because you could be like slipping around.
But you also could slip and crack your head open.
And I probably would, knowing me. I would do the heels. I can walk in heels.
I don't know how
I've
to
never
do it.
tried 12-inch heels, but I've tried some pretty high heels. Like, it's not even hard. I look like a linebacker. I'm not saying like I'm like, sexy when I'm doing it or anything.
Yeah, I've seen you drag. You've done drag a couple times. I grew up having to wear obviously women's clothing and heels, and anything above 3-inch heels was just torture. I hated it to fucking death. Hated it. So let's do a couple more. All
right, let's see. Would you rather?
Oh, now you want to use my list?
Yeah. Now that you have a list, don't look.
Okay. Guess why?
Okay. Excluding Samantha,
Mm-hmm.
would you rather be completely isolated from the rest of the world and just be you and Samantha,
Mm-hmm.
or you and Samantha, but everybody around you is annoying?
I'd just rather be me and Samantha. I don't care. Yeah. I could live with just Samantha. I mean, sure, there would be days where we would want to kill each other, but for me, find a person that you could be stranded on an island with. That's my advice to people in life.
There you go.
I'm not saying every day is going to be perfect, but if you can't be stranded on an island with them, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's true though.
There you go. All right. Last one. Would you rather the general public think that you're a horrible person, but your family be very proud of you? I feel like this is a Donald Trump thing. Or your family think you're a horrible person, but the general public be very proud of you.
Oh, I'd rather my family be proud of me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care about the general public. Fuck them.
God, no.
Who are you people?
I would rather the general public think I'm a good person because most of my family are horrible people.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Half of my family.
See, that's the thing.
Sorry,
I have a great,
Deanna.
loving family, and I would love to still have a
See,
relationship
yeah, that's
with
true.
them.
You have a good family. My family, at least half of them are shitheads, and if they think I'm a good person, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah,
That's what
see,
I know.
See, we have the exact opposite.
Yeah, it depends on your family. So, you know what, guys? If you want us every once in a while to play this a little more, we do like to do our What Did You Do last week, but mixing things up, trying to give you something different. So, send us your Would You Rather things. Are you falling off? Literally falling off the couch. It's a couch.
I almost just ruined everything.
Of course.
But yeah. Also, snap us.
Yes, Snapchat us.
Snap is more fun behind the scenes. That's where we can interact with you the most. It's quick, fun entertainment.
Yeah.
Nothing inappropriate, please. Just
Yep.
hang out with us, chat with us.
We're switching up our Instagram a little bit because sharing stories wasn't working so well, mostly because it was more time consuming than we expected. So you're welcome to tag us in your Instagram, but
we're still sharing stories, but that's not all we're doing.
Yeah,
now.
we're doing more things. So trying to get more active on Instagram. Obviously we have our Facebook and our Twitter. Twitter's the best place to get a hold of us for now, but
yeah, Twitter we're popping off daily.
Popping off
polls
all day, retweeting
gifts,
stuff,
yeah.
following people. We like a mixture of like just funny stuff and then like politics and just everything, all the good stuff. And again, remember, if you go on our Patreon and become a supporter, then you can get access to our exclusive content. So a couple of new videos are up there. with my transition update and some things. So check it out. And our YouTube, if you still haven't gone and checked our YouTube, we've got our episodes on there. We've got a couple of videos on there. We did an ASMR video a few weeks ago, so you can check that out if you haven't yet. So we're in things. We're doing
and
stuff.
it's like quote unquote ASMR.
Quote unquote. Yeah, this is real ASMR. If you're getting off on this, then I don't know.
You have some issues.
Yeah.
Not that you get off on regular ASMR.
I get off.
You're
on
the
ASMR.
only person.
I find it arousing.
I don't
know why.
You're weird. But anyways.
Yeah. So let's get into RuPaul. You've got two people here like on opposite ends of the spectrum because I've seen about like 3 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race in my life. I knew almost nothing about RuPaul, and whereas Paul here,
a little bit of an expert.
A little bit of an expert.
Seen every episode, follow him on Twitter, go to all the drag cons. Little fanboy.
A little bit of fanboy. So, alright, so let's dive in.
So let's start. RuPaul was born on November 17th, 1960, and was raised in San Diego, California. He was named by his mother Ernestine Tony Charles, a Louisiana native. The name Ru came from roux, which was the term for the base of gumbo and other Creole soups and stews. In 1967, Ru's parents divorced, and he and his 3 sisters lived with their mother.
Now, Ru was abandoned by his father as a child, and he says of his experience that he couldn't let go. This really hurt him. It required a lot of attention and therapy for many years, and he even admits that the first part of his drag career was about getting his father's attention, which, that's pretty... I get that.
Yeah.
We've all done crazy things to get our dad's attention. Even if they're assholes, we still do stuff. Yep. That's the whole reason Paul and I have this podcast.
Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Listening from jail.
You get this in jail? My parents are definitely listening.
Oh, yeah.
My mom and my stepdad.
They listen to every episode.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so at age 15, Ru moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and lived with his sister and her husband. Do we know why? Doesn't really say why he left. I think he just wanted to get out of the city. He was always kind of like, he was what is he? He says like gender bent. He always was pushing the boundaries, and even in San Diego, it was still. I guess he wasn't getting what he needed.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me a lot about this was that his father leaving hurt him so much. I guess.
Yeah.
Because he always portrays himself as a very powerful figure. Like, very, like, I am me. And I guess I've never really seen a side of weakness from him. Yeah. So, like, it kind of, like, hearing him say something affected him. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, you're still human.
Yeah.
Because he never portrays that. His star all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense, but you're right. Because we've known Ru in the spotlight for decades. Mm-hmm. And overcoming that and just like having to face out. Everything that RuPaul has done as a black man performing in drag. So openly gay, just like having to face down all the criticisms that have come his way. I'm sure he's, become so stoic in facing it.
That's true.
But, it's a safe, it hardens you, but it still like gets you. It's like, I feel myself that like, I feel stronger. I don't know, like things roll off my back easily. Like some random stranger calls me something in the street. People say stuff to me at the store all the time where I work. It doesn't affect me. Mm-hmm. But my parents' stuff still affects me.
That's true, yeah.
Your stuff with your dad never?
No.
No? Nothing?
No, I don't really care about much in life. So... if I don't care about something, it has zero ability to affect me in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. always been like, I know who I am, I know what I'm going to do with my life, and I know what I want. Mm-hmm. And like, I've always just like pushed through everything with that, and I don't know.
It just doesn't...
I know. Nothing affects me. Like, I don't get upset about much, so.
You don't get hurt by it either?
No. Why would I be hurt?
I don't know. It's your dad.
Yeah, but he like... is nothing. I don't know. He was never there. Why would that hurt me? He's the one who fucked up. Like, he didn't get to experience his child.
Yeah.
I still grew up with my mom and my grandparents and everything, so I still got the full experience.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you.
So at a young age, RuPaul began wearing his sister's clothes and exploring cross-dressing, emulating stars like Diana Ross and Jane Fonda. While in Georgia, the budding star attended the Northside School of Performing Arts, but actually did not graduate. Instead, the young actor struggled as a musician and filmmaker during the 1980s, where he worked at the Atlanta's famed Plaza Theater.
Ru got a bit of a break in 1982 when he sent a photo of himself to a local TV program, The American Music Show, asking to appear. He was booked as a regular on the series with his newly formed band, RuPaul and the U-Hauls. Did he steal that from a group of lesbians?
I don't know.
I bet they were so mad.
Tell me, RuPaul and U-Haul rhyme. It's like the best name.
It's a good name.
Was it all lesbians with them?
I don't know. I feel like there was a group of lesbians, and RuPaul was like, yeah, actually that rhymes with my name, so I'm going to take that. But unfortunately, the U-Hauls broke up rather quickly, and the band Wee Wee Pole was formed in its place.
I don't know. I wish I would have stayed.
Oh, God. Ru continued his love for film, participating in underground cinema, and helping create a low-budget film, Star Booty, and an album by the same name. Just the names. He didn't
you gotta
give
think
a
of the
fuck.
time, though. The 80s,
I mean, that's
like,
true. That's
you
true.
know, that's
being different.
being different. The 80s is very much about flashy, cool, quirky, like, we're all fucking...
It was also, the 80s are weird because it's this time where you've got like Freddie Mercury and Boy George. Who was the other guy? I don't know. Also David Bowie, that's not who I was thinking of, but someone else.
I know who you're thinking of. It's, why am I drawing a blank right now?
I don't know. Oh, and also Elton John.
The blonde guy, right?
What blonde guy?
What the hell was his name?
I don't know. We're not really good on the 80s. But my point was that like
I can't remember
this was an odd time in music because these musicians were like, they were out, but they weren't.
Right.
They were all out. They were doing these gay songs. They were pushing this queer culture. But then you would ask them if they were gay, and they wouldn't tell you, and they wouldn't talk about it. And in some cases, they would even straight up deny it. But it was so fucking queer.
Right.
The 80s were so goddamn queer. But everybody's pretending that they're not queer.
Because, you gotta remember, they didn't want to lose their career.
But I mean, everybody knows it. We all know it.
Everybody
We're
knows
just
it.
like, fucking Freddie Mercury's going to all of his events with his boyfriend, and then he's just like, nope, not gay here.
Well, that's just like the fucking Temptation guy. They're just
Ted
putting it in
Haggard?
their piles and Temptations.
This is my pile. I take this boy with me everywhere I go in case I want to suck his dick, but I never do because I don't give in to temptation.
Exactly.
I did not smoke that meth. I did not. Go ahead.
So, perhaps this exposure is what encouraged him to leave Atlanta for the even bigger city of New York. Ru became part of a new festival known as Wigstock, which was actually started by Lady Bunny.
Okay.
And
was she was a drag queen?
You don't know who Lady Bunny is?
No.
Lady Bunny. Okay, so
this is the episode where Paul knows everything and I know nothing.
So RuPaul is like, made as this glamour queen, right?
Uh-huh.
RuPaul is very business lady. RuPaul is very fashion forward. RuPaul is very running the shit.
Uh-huh.
Lady Bunny said, "Fuck all of that. I'm gonna tell these dirty, inappropriate jokes, and I'm just not gonna care how I look, and I'm gonna have fun."
Okay.
But Lady Bunny also rose to fame, just not on Ru's level, and in a different way. Well, maybe Lady Bunny is Ru has mainstream, so
yeah.
But Lady Bunny is big as a dirty comedy queen.
Okay, so queens know Lady Bunny,
yes.
Maybe get more gay culture does.
Yeah.
RuPaul is more mainstream,
right? But they've always been best friends, and RuPaul actually put Lady Bunny in drag for the first time.
Oh, really? So is Lady Bunny still around and still performing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lady Bunny's still big.
See, I told you I know nothing, guys. So don't judge. I know there's a bunch of queers throwing their phones across the room.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get in so much trouble. They're gonna be
fuck this podcast.
They're gonna be actually Lady Bunny, but they're gonna.
All right, so go ahead. You were saying Wigstock.
Yeah. So, Hey Queerstians, do you own a business?
Are you an author or an entertainer?
And would you like a great way to grow your audience?
Well, this commercial slot could be yours.
For just $20 a month, we can advertise your show on our podcast.
And as a rapidly growing queer content source, we want to help get your name out there. So if you want even more promotion, you can just choose our $30 tier to get ads and links on our website.
And for only $40 a month, we'll review your product on our YouTube channel and link it to all of our social media.
So go ahead, send an email to yourqueerstory@gmail today or reach out to us on social media via Messenger.
And let us make your business a little more queer. Bye!
Bye.
So Lady Bunny and RuPaul would actually perform in drag primarily in the East Village area. Then in 1989, Ru would receive his first big break when his agent booked him as an extra role, dancing in the video for Love Shack by the B-52s. This was his first taste of national recognition.
I don't know. Do I know the song Love Shack?
Yes, Love Shack. Oh, I can't sing it. Don't sue us.
Okay, sorry.
You know the song Love Shack.
I probably do, but I don't know. After his career began to take off, just 2 years later, in 1991, RuPaul was signed to a recording contract by Tommy Boy Records. 2 years after that, he debuted his album Supermodel of the World. This is when he found a hit with the single Supermodel You Better Work, which reached the top 50 of the pop charts and number 2 on the dance club charts. Over the next several years, RuPaul would remain a club fixture with hits like Snapshot and Workout. And again, like I didn't realize that his music was so popular.
How have you not heard these songs?
I was in a cult in the 90s, and the 90s and the 2000s, and it takes a long time to catch up on all the shit that you missed.
Did you not realize that I didn't know this either until I moved to the East Coast?
Well, because we had different things.
I went fast track and I caught up.
I'll tell you why. Because first of all, you were living as a gay man, and so all the gay men were like, "Here's what you need to know." But I was living as a lesbian, so people were like, "Here's Melissa Etheridge.
Here's your flannel, and here's your monthly flannel, and
here's some alternative angry music that you should be listening to." And it wasn't, so just wasn't mixing. Even though we were best friends, all just wasn't going. It wasn't working.
That's fair.
Okay.
Flannel of the Month Club. Sorry.
Right.
A 1993 duet with Sir Elton John on a remake of Don't Go Breaking My Heart landed him a spot in the UK top 10.
I know that song.
Okay, good. I'm very glad because that's a pretty standard. Everyone should know that one. Ru followed this success by releasing the next 2 smash singles/videos, Back to My Roots and A Shade Shady, Not Prance. Both went number 1 on the Billboard Hot Dance Music/Club Play chart and furthered his campy persona. Between them, House of Love was released without a video. It failed to place on any US charts despite rising to number 68 on the UK singles chart.
So if I went to a club in 1995, I would hear RuPaul playing. Yeah. A regular club.
Yeah.
Not
RuPaul
just a
was
club.
Everywhere.
Okay. All right. Okay.
RuPaul was the Mac girl.
The Mac girl.
Did we talk about that?
We haven't gotten there yet. Way to
surprise!
Spoiler alert! But more success was in the way of this pop star. Ru was expanding in other areas as well, making his film debut in 1994 with Spike Lee's Crooklyn. A year later, Ru followed his break in television by appearing on several TV shows such as Sister Sister, The Brady Bunch movie, and more. I do know Sister Sister. I did like that show.
I love Sister Sister.
Yeah. That was good. Oh, what's her name? She was on her own show, Tamara. I don't know which one it was, but she has her own show right now.
Tian Tamara.
It's Tamara has her own show for something. I don't know. Anyways, in addition, he signed to a modeling contract for MAC Cosmetics. Various billboards featured him in full drag, often with the text "I am MAC Girl," which I'm sure just drew people fucking nuts. It drives people nuts today. Like when CoverGirl had their first trans, I think it was a gender, queer gender individual.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like CoverGirl did that like a year ago, and people were like losing their fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine MAC doing that in fucking 1994, 95. Ru used the exposure and funds to help raise money for the MAC AIDS Fund. He became the first drag queen to land a major cosmetic campaign.
Mm-hmm. You see that pretty commonly now. Miss Fame has one and all kinds of stuff. So he was like the first groundbreaking. He's the first to everything.
He really is. And again, like, wow, that's amazing because
breaking barriers left and right.
Like, Can you imagine like the uproar in the 1995 when a black drag queen is the face of a major cosmetic line,
and also has music playing in the clubs?
Exactly, and people, of course, all kinds of shit.
There was this guy who worked at one of the companies, and I was talking to him, and gay culture came up sometime. Completely straight guy, like off the grid kind of dude, away from everything. And I brought up RuPaul something. He goes, "Oh yeah, CoverGirl." Like even he knew RuPaul, and he was like, my mind was blown.
Everybody
was
knows
so
RuPaul.
shocked.
Like even if they've never watched it, everybody just knows the name RuPaul. Yeah, everybody knows the name RuPaul. Everybody most people have seen like an episode of Drag Race, or they know of it.
Yeah, they know it exists. They see commercials, or it's quoted in culture. It's all over GIFs now. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It is a part of American culture. And it's incredible. But just at least for me, I just didn't realize how much RuPaul had done before getting to Drag Race. Yes, you.
All right. He also released his autobiography, Letting It All Hang Out. Pretty good name. And all this exposure was sure to draw producers' attention. By 1998, VH1 had signed Ru on for his own talk show called The Ru Show. It's called The RuPaul Show, interviewing celebrity guests and musical acts. Diana Ross, Nirvana, Mary J. Blige, B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
See, I knew that one.
B. Arthur, Cyndi Lauper, Olivia Newton-John, and the Backstreet Boys were notable guests. His co-star was Michelle Visage, with whom he also co-hosted on WKTU Radio. On one episode, RuPaul featured guests Chi Chi LaRue and Tom Chase speaking about the gay porn industry. Real controversial there.
I'm sure. Jesus,
Not only is it porn, it's also gay porn.
Gay porn? Ru continued to do compilation hits with the stars, remaking compilation hits with the stars, remaking classics such as It's Raining Men. I know you're not going to edit any of that out. You're just going to put me tumbling over my words as you edit all your shit out. As well as continuing to record his own music. He released the albums Ho 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 in 1997, Red Hot in 2004, and Reworked 2006. By 2004, when RuPaul released his fourth album, Red Hot, he was able to produce the music under his own label, RuCo Incorporated Music Label. It received some dance, radio, and club play, but very little press overall. On his blog, RuPaul discussed how he felt betrayed by the entertainment industry, particularly the gay press. In one incident, it was noted that the magazine Entertainment Weekly refused to review the album, instead asking him to make a comedic contribution to a fashion article. He likened the experience to a black person being invited to a party, but only if they'll serve. So,
he leaves his contract because he's like, I'm going to produce this under myself.
Yeah.
Then once that name is gone, everybody's like, can you just write us a funny article?
Yeah, can you just be funny and make us laugh? Like, he's doing serious fucking work. He has a goddamn talk show.
And they've reviewed his stuff before. Like, they all have been talking about him. But he had the label back then, and then when he wanted to go with his own label, he wanted to break away from that. They were all like,
"Yeah,
what's RuCo?
Don't know what that is.
How about you just be funny and smile?"
Yeah, right. Smile and wave.
Despite his apparent dissatisfaction with the release, Red Hot showed RuPaul returning to the top of the dance charts in the U.S. with the lead-off single "Looking Good, Feeling Gorgeous," hitting number 2 on the dance chart.
That's without reviews. That's without the support of the gay community.
Because it was a fucking good song.
Yeah, and he's just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
The second, Workout, peaked at number 5. The third and final single from the album, People Are People, a duet with Tom Trujillo, peaked at number 10. The album itself only charted on the electronic albums chart, where it hit number 9. So he didn't give a fuck. He was fucking turning to this without a name, like you said, without reviews, without anything.
Yeah, he always seemed to believe in himself. He's always seems... Well, I'm so used to talking to people about people in past tense. He's always seemed to believed in himself, like knew he was going to be a star, knew what he could do, and just kept pushing through all these obstacles in his way, Again, obviously this month we're talking a lot about the intersectional identity of being gay and being black in America, and even in the 70s, 80s, like pushing through all of that and making...
Even in the 90s and fucking...
In the 90s. And again, a gay black man that dresses in women's clothing for his job, like... isn't being digested well. I mean, 1997, that's the year that what is his name? He was with Matthew Shepard. I want to say James Byrd, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
I have to look this up because this is if you remember in our Matthew Shepard episode, we talked about the hate crime that was committed in Byrd.
Well, you have to remember in 1992, Marsha P. Johnson had just died, and there's a murder investigation.
And we believe that she was, James Byrd was the man who was tied to the back of a pickup truck in fucking 1998. So the year that RuPaul gets his talk show, tied to the back of a pickup truck and driven through the streets, and until obviously he died and his body was dismembered on the way. So this is the kind of open hatred and racism that is still going towards the black community.
Everybody loves to pretend like that none of this exists in the 90s. It was there.
Oh,
it was fucking
it was just
brutal.
it was just as Matthew Shepard is murdered in 1998. James Byrd is murdered in 1998. You know, black and gay not going well.
And now talking about somebody who's blatantly in the face of everyone, cover of Mac.
On the fucking billboard, Mac Girl. It takes a lot.
Rue went through a lot.
Yes. But of course, Rue's most iconic role would come in 2009 when he launched RuPaul's Drag Race. The show was an oasis in an ocean of straight cisgender film and television. Rue exposed a side of queer culture that was often silenced or sidelined to the gay bars. He made drag a national pastime and inspired countless queer youth to be authentic to themselves. As he continued to produce music, Rue's name became more of a household name than simply a gay legend. In 2015, he released the solo album Sleigh Bells and launched his new game show, Gave Her Play, which premiered in April of 2016.
Yep. Fucking Rue.
Along
with RuPaul's Drag Race, he also has RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, and he also briefly did an experience called RuPaul's Drag Race, or RuPaul's Drag U, which was like a drag university.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why didn't that keep going?
It didn't get such
It was just getting enough traction.
All Stars is still going, though.
I did watch, which I told you was a couple weeks ago, when they had the whole thing where they brought... It was All Stars, and they brought some queens back, and everybody had a lip sync for their life. I watched that episode. It was good. It's not that I... Like, every once in a while, I get caught in a room with a couple homos. And they put on RuPaul's Drag Race, and I always watch it, and I always enjoy it. But I just never... It's not something that I just put on myself. Samantha, my fiance, loves RuPaul, was obsessed with it, and still is, to an extent. She doesn't get to watch it as much as she used to, but she used to go there every Friday or whatever night it would premiere, and she would go watch it, with her
We gotta
friends.
think it's the only gay thing that you can watch where the gay character doesn't die.
Right, exactly. Well, for the longest time, even in 2009, it was the only thing that you could watch.
Yeah.
And it shows things in a positive light. You're right.
And it's positive, it's upbeat, it's not... I mean, it's goofy sometimes, but it's not raunchy.
Right.
It's fun.
2009, 2010, it really isn't until the mid-2010s that you start to get some positive gay character roles in television. And before then, like you said, we did have Will and Grace. That was good. But then there's breaks, and there's kind of a drought between 2004 and I would say about 2014, where what do you have? What are you watching? You're getting the gay best friend in the television that's on every other episode. And of course, they never go into his love life. Yeah. He's campy, and and there's nothing real about his story. You're not getting any kind of real gay culture, which Drag Race shows gay culture in
every light.
Yeah, every light. So yeah, it's a beautiful show, but of course, like everything else that Ru did, it would take a long time before people would recognize it.
So RuPaul also released 3 albums the following year: Remember Me, Essential, Volume 1, and later Volume 2, as well as his 11th studio album, American. In 2016, RuPaul finally got the recognition he so well deserved when he earned his first Emmy. The following year earned him a second award, and during the 2017 season 9 premiere featuring Lady Gaga, close to 1 million viewers tuned in, making it the most viewed episode in the show's history.
Yeah, so 2016, so he's producing Drag Race for 8 years before, or 6 7 years. 7 years. Finally
That's
gets an
that good
Emmy.
old church math.
Fuck off. Yeah, finally gets an Emmy. Has won the last 2 years. I don't know if it's nominated again. Oh no, I guess it was years because 2018 it wasn't. I didn't win, but still, fantastic. In January, as far as personal life, in January 2017 was a good year for RuPaul.
It was. Everything was happening.
Yeah,
that
he
year.
won his second Emmy. In January of that year, he married his longtime partner, Australian painter Georges Labar. I did read an article about that a while back, but they had been together, I want to say for 25 years, but it's been a long time, at least 20 years. They've been together. They have an open relationship. They're very open about the fact that they have an open relationship. But Rue was just basically like, well, when I die, when something happens, I want to know that George is going to get half of my assets. So that was like, for them, marriage was never a big deal, but being able to leave your assets in your state, having someone in charge of your as your medical proxy if something happens to you, all important things to consider. So, marriage maybe not be the most important thing. Make sure, I will say this, you can fill out a medical proxy at your local hospital. They'll give you the form, you can fill it out. Make sure your partner has say on what happens to you if you don't have supportive family, because you can be fucked.
Oh yeah, they can just say pull the plug.
Oh yeah, they could just say pull the plug. They can have you, if you're transgender, they can have you buried in your gender assigned at birth. They can do
with
all
your birth
kinds,
name.
With your birth name, they can make all kinds of decisions. So get a medical proxy form, fill it out, or get married, whatever. You can do that now. But another thing that happened in 2017, Rue was also put on the list of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. And a year after that, in March of 2018, he was awarded a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame, thereby becoming the first drag queen to ever receive this honor.
And he even said during this time that this was like the most important part of his career ever.
Yeah.
Getting that star.
Yeah. I mean, it's this physical lasting proof of his accomplishments, because everything else could fade away, but this star is going to be there.
He's there forever.
Yeah. We do want to touch lightly on some of the controversies that have surrounded him. Of course, if you do follow RuPaul, there was issues with him not wanting to allow transgender women to perform on Drag Race. In 2018,
that good old church English.
You can get the fuck out of here with your church stuff. In 2018, RuPaul gave an interview to The Guardian and stated that post-transition trans women would probably not be accepted onto the show, noting at the time of the competition that Peppermint had not yet had her breast implants. She was a performer. After facing criticism on social media and from former contestants of his remarks, RuPaul compared trans drag queens who had transitioned to athletes who had taken performance-enhancing drugs, and subsequently expressed regret for the hurt caused by his remarks. And now he's since gone back on that and says that anyone can compete as long as they have charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And yeah. Paul and I were talking about this. I think it's a lack of awareness on transgender issues. It's not excusing it, but it's also drag queens and trans people have had a very complicated relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah, trans folks have protested against drag queens marching in gay parades because they believe that it makes fun of transgender individuals. Drag queens have come back and said that's not what we're trying to do. This is a whole separate art form. Yeah.
We're not trying to use that. We're not saying that that's an excuse.
We're not excusing it. We're just saying that there's just not.
How can
we say that?
We don't want to be like.
We're not getting into debate about this because as a transgender person, I'm not a transgender woman, so I'm not going to speak for transgender women, and we're not going to speak. We're glad that RuPaul went back on his race. We think that's for the queens, specifically the transgender queens, to decide, and they've decided that that's we should be able to compete like everyone else. And honestly, we've had trans friends competing. And, it doesn't give you any kind of advantage. Like, drag is a whole separate art form.
Yeah. So, I don't understand how he could have thought it would be related to performance enhancing drugs, because like how?
How?
In what way?
I don't know what the thought process was again. Again, like I said, it's a lack of awareness on trans issues. You know, it's like, oh, well, she's had breast implants, so now it makes it easier. Like.
And I hope that it was very dumb of him, and
yeah.
I'm hoping that he was educated or maybe opened his eyes and he realized that he made a mistake. He did just have Gia Gunn on his latest season of All Stars 4, which is an out trans woman. I'm hoping that was a genuine reach out and it wasn't a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
I can't say that it wasn't.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know, but we you just hope that, like you said, that Ruse has evolved and has heard the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he thought he was speaking from an educated place, saying, no, these are two separate things, and they are two separate things. That's why it doesn't matter. A transgender woman doing drag it is two separate things. So you can't say that she has any kind of advantage.
It's not any easier. It's not any harder. Drag is drag. Everyone has their own kind of drag. You can't compare someone's art to the way somebody else does art.
Yeah.
It's just it's totally separate, like you
said.
And
I think Gia was even talking in that episode about how, or maybe it was the one before that, about how hard it actually was for her to be, when she does drag, she has to be seen as a man doing drag rather than as a woman.
Right.
You know, because of the perception that only men do drag.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's a lot of hardship. There's a lot of emotional toil to be able to do your art and perform it the way that you want. But, you know, that's the thing is...
We don't want to come out as if we are supporting his actions.
No.
I don't want that to be the
No, that's not the... No. We're not supporting that at all. We're just talking about the controversy because it's been brought up and it's very recent. But it seems that the show, whether RuPaul has evolved or not, he's at least allowed his show to evolve to be inclusive to transgender queens. So hopefully they'll be able to use that platform to further their art as well as every other every other drag queen. So, yeah. But that's RuPaul. Oh, and he's on a new show. Let me pull it up. It's got Faith Hill, Drew Barrymore, RuPaul new show. Did a lot of things. The World's Best. It's basically it seems like it's just America's Got Talent, only it's the World's Got Talent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People.
Also.
What?
Cutting you off completely.
Yes.
We also don't want to forget that RuPaul's show has allowed a lot of people to launch their careers.
Yes.
Several people have made a big name for themselves. They've been able to make careers. They've been able to launch themselves as a brand thanks to his show. If it wasn't for that platform, they wouldn't have been able to get anywhere. I mean, they could have, but how hard would it have been?
Exactly, and he does, and that's the thing. It's not that RuPaul is a perfect person who hasn't made mistakes, and it's not to say that him giving people platform excuses him, but also you have to recognize the fact that people have had this platform. Drag queens that have been able to make a profession that they would never have been able to make before without Drag Race. Now, is he now detached and a stone cold bitch? Maybe. He's still a businessman,
right?
You know? I don't know. But, I mean, I'm glad that the world has RuPaul Drag Race. I'll say that.
Yes.
With all the faults, with all the controversy, I am glad that Drag Race has existed. And in time, I think that there will be other forms of Drag Race.
Things are going to evolve.
I'm surprised that we haven't already had someone else hosting a show, like a mainstream show that's gotten out there.
We'll see.
With some of the more famous, more popular drag queens
Alyssa
out
Edwards
there.
has a Netflix series.
Oh, she does? Okay, all right.
Dancing Queen, I think.
Dancing Queen? Is that what that is? I'm looking on a list of RuPaul. We googled RuPaul and we have these things. So there's Dancing Queen. I'm surprised. What's Willem?
Willem.
Is Willem controversial? I don't watch enough to know. So if you're
Willem got kicked off of Drag Race.
Why?
Well, the rumor is that he slept with one of the producers during filming. A straight producer.
A straight producer? Oh, God. Fuck off.
But that's so apparently he got kicked off. Apparently that's against the rules.
To sleep with the producer?
Yeah, because it could influence your position and stuff.
I guess. You don't think that RuPaul's ever slept with any of the contestants?
He might have. I don't know.
You know, one I watched a long time ago, you had me watch, it had Adam Lambert on there, and maybe I wasn't watching it with you, but he was like ogling the fuck out of one of the girls. And I know they hooked up after because they were openly flirting. Adam Lambert was openly flirting. Like, even Rue called him out on it and was like, "You just want to fuck her." And I wrote, "Yeah, no, fuck you. They want to fuck her. I know we fucked her. I know we did."
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, check out The World's Best, even if you don't do it for RuPaul, which you probably are if you're listening to this. But there's also Faith Hill and Drew Barrymore. Do it for Drew Barrymore. She's a good person.
Yep. Her
family's always been good and kind to the queers, even long before it was popular, the Barrymores. So check it out. Have a wonderful continuing Black History Month. We've got more history coming for you. And
stay queer.
Don't get a lobotomy.
You succulent sappist.
Bumpy Twinkies.
We love you, our allied hookers. Goodbye.
Bye.